Right thing, Maxine, to stop at the scene and help the injured mum and her baby. I know it was a hard decision to make, as there are a lot of ethical reasons to consider.
I know, it was just the right thing to do. It was a difficult decision to make, but I'm proud of the way I acted in this situation. I just felt right in my heart. I've been brought up by my family.
Well, Maxine, it sounds like you do have strong ethical values. We should always do whatever brings the most utility to the most people. That is, doing the thing that creates the best consequences for the majority involved. In particular, the role of a paramedic involves a lot of rapid decision making, where in a time of urgency, often ethical values are overlooked in order to jump to a decision that benefits them more in a clinical setting.
Yes, I agree with you, Manu. Did you have any thoughts about the consequences of your decision in the situation for everyone, Maxine?
Well, we did quickly run through the consequences of our action. We thought about what was in immediate danger, and after pursuing the scene, noticed the mother had a severe leg trauma and quite a lot of hemorrhage. I know that we caused the crash, and I feel so much guilt and remorse, but after noticing the critical injuries, we just couldn't drive on.
Yeah, Maxine and I thought about the baby as well. It was an initial code 1, so we knew not attending the scene may have had negative consequences. But when we compared the two scenarios, there's just no way we could have left the crash scene.
Yes, we noticed you called comms, and they advised they would dispatch another crew. This was the right thing to do, although they were 20 minutes away. Did you ever consider the negative impact of not attending to the baby, given the urgency of the call?
Yes, of course we fought for the baby. I'm recently a mother too, but my head had to answer with my heart. How were we to know the severity of the infant situation? We could physically see a mother losing her life in front of us. We had to treat this as a more urgent cause than a call from comms.
Regardless of the consequences, stopping at the scene after the crash you were involved in is the right thing to do. This is also stated in the law. Unfortunately, we will all have to be present in the courtroom to discuss the scenario from a legal perspective.
Yes, we're all here for you, Maxine, and we'll support you all the way. That's enough to hear from you for now. Thanks for your time, Max and Maxine.
Thank you for your support again, Max.
Well, tell me, do you have any further thoughts on the situation, Manu? The only aspect missing from the case is from an ethical egoism standpoint. Yes, she is saying that she stopped for all the right moral reasons for the least consequences, but she appears to have acted in a form of self-preservation. At the end of the day, Maxine doesn't want to lose her job or future career as a paramedic in the interest of her family's well-being. If she didn't stop, she would have probably been held negligible for the potential death of the mother in the car. Yes, that is an important point to consider. Let's get more into a legal realm now. To the courtroom!
We are now at the summation of the case against Maxine Armellini for one count of dangerous driving, with driving at excessive speed causing an accident and injury. On behalf of the mother whose baby is now deceased, Lois Litt will present a final summation of evidence against Maxine for her dangerous driving and thus negligent practice as a paramedic.
Yes, thank you, Judge. If Maxine hadn't have driven recklessly, endangered the lives of others, she would have arrived at the scene of the infant in time to treat them successfully, preventing loss of life. According to the Road Traffic Act 1961, the road rules don't apply to the driver of the emergency vehicle if they are taking reasonable care. Maxine was not taking reasonable care. She was speeding and endangering the lives of others and indirectly affecting the mortality of the infant. The Civil Liability Act 2003 also holds Maxine directly liable for causing the crash and the consequences afterwards, as she did not take the appropriate precautions to reduce the risk of harm.
Objection! She was not to know the consequences after the incident. According to the Transport Operations Act 1995, Maxine was obliged to stop and render aid, as she was directly involved in the incident herself. The Public Sector Ethics Act 1994 also supports this decision to stay and render aid, as it is her duty to uphold the law of the government, which is for the ambulance not to flee the theme as aforementioned. Maxine, do you think you were driving in a dangerous or a careless manner?
It was never my intent to create any danger. I was only thinking about a sick baby. These thoughts were affecting my judgment and making me careless, not dangerous.
Well, Maxine, as you should know, you are bound by the Work and Health Safety Act 2011, where it's your own duty to take care of yourself first, so the health and safety of other persons aren't in danger. Maybe if you were emotionally infected by the nature of the call-out, would it have been safer for your partner, Max, to take the wheel? Furthermore, according to the Criminal Code Act 1899, you are charged with the duty of providing for another the necessaries of life, as you are bound to attend the call, and you have failed in your duties due to dangerous driving, and must be held liable.
Objection again. Maxine was only bound to attend the call before she was involved in the incident, where her priorities immediately changed. Looking at the same Criminal Code Act 1899, Maxine is physically obliged to stay at the scene, as she has hastened the potential death of the mother, so is directly responsible for her health and well-being.
I think I've heard enough. The whole of the QAS can take a further look at the Work and Health Safety Act 2011 in regards to looking after the safety of their staff as paramount, as it directly correlates with the well-being of others. It is clear Maxine wasn't ready to return to work, and as such, she has driven in a careless manner, endangering others' lives. I find no evidence to support that Maxine should have acted in a different manner after the road traffic collision. Staying and treating was the correct decision in accordance with the law. Maybe QAS needs to review their procedures with the number of vehicles on road able to respond to Code 1 calls, as it is clear a secondary backup crew was too far away to treat the now deceased infant. I officially downgrade Maxine's penalty to careless driving with a $4,000 fine and 6-month license suspension. Case closed!
It's empty in the valley of your heart. The sun, it rises slowly as you walk away from all the fears and all the faults you've left behind.